You've seen them a million times. On TV, in photos, maybe you've even stood right in front of them. They're the most famous landmarks on Earth, symbols of our history and culture that feel as familiar as the back of your own hand. Solid, unchanging, and totally figured out. But what if I told you they're hiding something? That right under the feet of millions of tourists, or just behind a wall in plain sight, lie secret rooms, hidden messages, and unbelievable truths that have been kept under wraps for centuries. These aren't just monuments. They're vaults, packed with stories and secrets. Today, we're uncovering the secrets your tour guide won't tell you. First up, one of America's most iconic sites, Mount Rushmore. 4 giant presidential faces carved into a mountain, a testament to American democracy. But this monument holds a secret that was part of its original plan, a secret tucked away right behind the stoic face of Abraham Lincoln. See, behind Lincoln's head, there's a hidden, unfinished chamber called the Hall of Records. This was the brainchild of the sculptor himself, Gutzon Borglum. Borglum dreamed of more than just giant faces. He wanted to create a vault that would tell the story of the United States to future civilizations, maybe thousands of years from now. He imagined a grand hall housing our most important documents, like the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence, with an 800-foot granite staircase leading up to it. They started blasting in 1938 and carved a 70-foot tunnel into the mountain. But by 1939, Congress got nervous about the budget and ordered all the money to go toward finishing the faces. So, work on the Hall of Records just stopped. After Borglum died in 1941, the dream was pretty much abandoned, leaving a rough cave hidden inside the mountain. For decades, the hall just sat there, empty and unknown. All right, let's hop across the pond to Paris, to the single most recognizable landmark in the world. The Eiffel Tower. Every year, millions of people ride up its iron lattice for those breathtaking views. But what very few know is that at the very top, nearly 1,000 feet in the air, its creator, Gustave Eiffel, built himself a secret apartment. This wasn't exactly a secret he kept, but it was a space he reserved only for himself. The ultimate VIP room. While the rest of the tower was a public marvel, this was his personal escape. It wasn't decorated with iron and rivets, but with all the comforts of a cozy Parisian home. Paisley wallpaper, wooden furniture, velvet sofas, oil paintings, and even a grand piano. He also had a small area packed with scientific gear he used for experiments. When word got out, the Parisian elite went crazy, offering what would be fortunes today to rent the space for a single night. Eiffel turned down every single offer. This place wasn't for rent. Instead, he used it for quiet thinking and to host a few special guests. His most famous visitor? Thomas Edison. The two geniuses met in the sky-high apartment, smoked cigars, and talked for hours. Edison even gifted Eiffel one of his new phonographs. For years, the apartment was closed off. But today, if you go to the top of the tower, you can peek through a window into this perfectly preserved moment. Inside, there are wax figures of Eiffel, his daughter Claire, and Edison, recreating that legendary meeting, a hidden gem hiding in plain sight at the top of Paris. From Paris, we cross the Atlantic to another gift from France. The Statue of Liberty. For millions, she's the face of freedom and hope. But this symbol of liberty holds 2 big secrets, one born from a forgotten act of war, and another that most people walk right past. The first secret is in her torch. For the first 30 years after she opened in 1886, you could actually climb a narrow ladder right up into the torch for an incredible view. But that all ended on July 30th, 1916. In the dead of night, German saboteurs blew up a massive stockpile of weapons on a nearby island called Black Tom. The explosion was huge, like a 5.5 magnitude earthquake, and it showered the area with shrapnel. The Statue of Liberty was hit. Her arm and torch were so damaged that public access was closed forever. For over a century now, no tourist has been allowed inside. The original battle-scarred torch was replaced in the 1980s and is now on display in the statue's museum, a silent reminder of an act of war on America's greatest symbol. We're about to dive into the forgotten worlds beneath ancient Rome and Washington, D.C., but first, if you're enjoying uncovering these hidden truths, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. You won't want to miss the secrets we're about to unearth. Our next secret takes us to the heart of the ancient world, the Roman Coliseum. For almost 500 years, this was the stage for brutal gladiator fights and wild public shows. But the real action, the dark, terrifying heart of the whole operation, was hidden beneath the sandy arena floor in a complex labyrinth called the Hypogeum. Hypogeum just means underground, and it was a world of its own. This two-level network of tunnels and cells was the backstage for the games. Imagine being down there in the torch-lit darkness. Gladiators waited in holding cells, the air thick with dread. Cages held terrifying animals shipped in from all over the empire: lions, tigers, elephants. It was pure, organized chaos. The Hypogeum was also an engineering masterpiece. It had 80 vertical shafts with elevators and pulley systems. On cue, workers would crank these giant winches to hoist gladiators, scenery, or a caged lion up to the arena floor. They would appear as if from nowhere through one of 36 trapdoors, creating the spectacular and horrifying drama that the crowds screamed for. For centuries, the Hypogeum was buried and forgotten, but it's since been rediscovered and is now open to tourists. You can actually walk through the same tunnels where gladiators and doomed animals once waited. Back in the U.S., we're at the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C. It's a sacred space for the nation, honoring America's 16th president. But right under that massive marble statue of Abraham Lincoln lies a cavernous world that was basically forgotten for decades: the Undercroft. When the memorial was built in the 1910s, the ground was marshy, so it needed a deep, powerful foundation. To support all that marble, engineers built a 43,800 square foot underground space with 122 huge concrete columns, some of them 40 feet tall. Once the memorial was finished, this massive chamber was just sealed up and forgotten. Over time, it started acting like a natural cave. Water dripped through the concrete and formed stalactites, and the walls became covered in graffiti left by the original construction workers, little doodles and names from a century ago. For decades, almost no one knew it was there, but now it's being totally transformed. A $69 million project is underway to turn part of the Undercroft into a brand new museum. Set to open in 2026, it will feature huge glass walls so visitors can look out into the cathedral-like space of the foundations. You'll soon be able to step into a part of the monument that's been hidden for over a century. For our last secret, we're heading to one of the most remote places on Earth, Easter Island, or Rapa Nui. The island is famous for its nearly 1,000 giant stone figures, the Moai. But you probably know them as the Easter Island heads. Well, that's one of the biggest misconceptions in all of archaeology. Those famous heads have bodies. For centuries, the most photographed Moai were buried up to their shoulders in soil, which is why everyone thought they were just heads. But archaeologists, especially with the Easter Island Statue Project, have excavated several of them and uncovered their full torsos. And get this, the buried bodies were covered in intricate carvings that had been perfectly preserved from erosion for hundreds of years. These symbols, like crescents representing canoes, might have linked the statues to specific family clans. Finding the bodies completely changed our understanding of the Moai. The other big mystery was how they moved these multi-ton statues. The oral traditions of the Rapa Nui people say the statues walked, and it turns out they were probably right. Recent experiments have shown that with ropes and a team of people, you can rock the statues side to side and literally walk them across the island. and the island is still giving up its secrets. As recently as 2023, a brand new moai was found in a dried-up lake bed inside a volcano crater, a place no one had ever found one before. It just proves this remote island has plenty more mysteries to share. From a secret hall of records inside a mountain to a forgotten gladiator underworld, the world's most famous monuments are so much more than stone and steel. They're keepers of stories, guardians of lost history, and time capsules just waiting to be opened. They prove that even in the places we think we know best, there are always unbelievable secrets hiding just beneath the surface. What other secrets do you think our world's landmarks are hiding? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this trip into the unknown, don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more adventures into the hidden corners of our world. Thanks for watching.